The Light Sport and Ultralight Flyer would like to thank BRS Parachutes for providing air transportation to and from Aero. We would also like to thank ICP North America for supplying our accommodations at the show, and Renegade Light Sport Aircraft for transportation and meals during the show.
We're here at Aero, the grand show for light aircraft in Europe, thanks to BRS Parachutes for financial assistance to produce these videos. Speaking with Tom Pighetti today, he's the man behind an aircraft, well, a lot like this that I flew many years ago. It was called Flightstar then. It's called Spyder now, and Tom's going to help us go through the changes on this aircraft. It looks a lot different than what I remember back in the 80s, I think that was, Tom. Give us a little bit of the background about the Spyder as we know it today, and then you can discuss some of the details and safety features of this aircraft.
Well, the basic configuration and the basic design is in fact the same as the Flightstar that my company produced, and I've supported over the biggest percentage of my lifetime. Yuneec International bought the rights, the tooling, and the design of what was then the Flightstar range of aircraft, and now they're making the Spyder, which is a electric, we would call it an ultralight in the United States, but this is a certified aircraft in Europe. It's just been certified to the DOLE standard and has an actual certificate of airworthiness, which I believe is the first electric certified airplane in the world.
Is that right? Cool. I didn't know you had won the DOLE approval.
Yes, there's the certificate is overhanging on the wall. It's powered by a 27 kilowatt motor, which is roughly the equivalent of 34 horsepower. It has two 70-pound batteries. It has a duration of 1 hour, up to 1 hour, with enough reserve electricity for doing a go-around at the end of 1 hour, or an extra 20 minutes of flight. In addition, they've done some other changes to make it easier to fly. They have a longer fuselage, and we have also extended the wings with a sheared wingtip, similar to an air cam, if you will, for this type of construction, to improve the glide ratio. And then the longer fuselage, the longer boom tube, makes it easier to fly.
All these things make it get more utility out of electric power, Tom?
Well, the longer span and higher lift airfoil does allow it to fly with less power, less energy.
Less power required out of the
right,
okay.
Towards duration. And then also having the very low drag, quite beautiful electric motor up in front. This has the best glide ratio of any Flightstar ever, because it's much aerodynamically much cleaner than. And this motor system has several things involved with it that are really smart. It has if you're starting to overheat the motor or the controller or the battery, it'll start dialing back the power to keep you from doing that. It also goes through a self-diagnostic setup when you start it, and you hear some tones that it's checking the batteries, it's checking the motor, and it's checking the controller. And then before you're allowed to add throttle, well, power lever to it.
It's got to have new terms.
They're not horses and they're not engines, so you have to have a new term. It's not really a throttle. The propeller jumps back and forth so that you have some warning. And Mr. Tien Yu, the owner of Yuneec, really believes in electric flight. He's not doing this because he wants to dominate the electric aircraft field. He feels that this is some technology that must be developed for the betterment of pilots worldwide, and he's really pursuing it. He will not stop until we have successfully created, commercially available, ready to fly electric aircraft. And they make their electric motors for all of their planes, and they make this complete power system. In fact, everything is made on this aircraft.
You're making all of this stuff up here?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's all made in-house. They do not source out anything. All of these parts are made in-house. It is very similar to the Flightstar in that it has a chrome Wally gauge. It has 7075 aluminum wing spars that are made especially for Yuneec in China for that application. The wing covering, by the way, is made by an old hang gliding company that you're familiar with. It's made by Wilswing.
Oh, Wilswing is still making the wings for this.
Just celebrated their 40th year being in business, and we're really proud to continue to give them business because they're great people. They do a great job on this.
So how far along before somebody could actually have one of these of their own?
Well, actually, they'll be ready to sell in Europe almost immediately, and because they are certified to the German DUF standard, and that is applicable around a lot of the United States. But at Aero Friedrichshafen 2013 was the final vote by the ASTM F-37 committee that will allow the integration of electric propulsion systems into light sport aircraft in the United States. It's going to have to go through the notice of availability vetting process with the FAA, and then there'll have to be some other changes, perhaps an exemption with the FAA, but we think it'll go well, and we will soon see these being sold in the United States as a SLSA and an ELSA.
Well, that's very exciting. The ASTM, I know, my work on it as well, not in that group as much, but with the committee, they've been working on this electric propulsion set of standards for several years now. I think 3 or 4 years perhaps. It's an all-new field, so there were a lot of opinions one way or the other. How should we do it? That's very exciting.
But it is an exciting time, and we're not suggesting this is the be-all, end-all of electric flight forever, but it is the most exciting thing that it is bringing brand new technology to follow the regulation that will allow it to be used and to develop the technology of electric flight for people like us.
And here's an aircraft that maybe in a year or so, or maybe less, somebody could buy, fly, enjoy, charge up, go fly some more.
Right.
In the United States. Do we have these videos stay on YouTube for a long time? We don't want exact numbers, but do we have a range of price of one of these might cost?
It should be somewhere around $40,000, including a ballistic parachute, ready to fly, batteries.
Not a kit, ready to fly.
Right, that's our understanding at this point. That's an estimate at this time.
Sure, understood. And these things are subject to change over time anyway. But that's very exciting. That's a lot of information. We'd like to know where we can go on the web to get even more details about Yuneec and the Spyder project. Do you have something for us like that, Tom?
Yuneecinternational.com.
Yuneecinternational.com, great. I'll have information, and I already do have some on the Spyder. That's available on bydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com. Thanks a lot for joining us here at Aero.
Come on, Jack, pull it too. Thank you.